Alrighty, I'm back. So then, last part I went on a lovely tangent about fucking Steam, and also killed the executioner. I'm gonna see what else I can do. Also, just another thing I miss from this era of games is that real-time reflection thing that they used to do like that. I remember seeing that sort of thing in Force Unleashed 2, and it's really awesome. I think what they do is they just render the room twice, and you know, I'm sure there's enough firepower in these fucking engines to make that shit work, but they never do it anymore. Cool effect I love seeing. So basically I just hit left mouse, right mouse. There you go, he's fucked. So you want to go for the weakling first and steal his weapon. Bye-bye. The Spanish guy with the big suit of armor gets pretty pissed off at me. Let's take him down by the beard. Oh, nope. Apparently when I press E, I don't actually press E. This game lied to me. Alright, just fucking kill him normally then. Bye-bye. I like this, you know, very old-timey pirate look. A lot of things, this Victorian and, you know, the Spanish look they've got here in the castle. It looks really nice. But yeah, you know, I had wanted, like, more violent, kind of cartoony Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of like that canceled Pirates of the Caribbean game. This isn't open world exactly, but this is, you know, pretty darn close to what I had seen in a few YouTube videos. Pretty fun. I think my favorite bit throughout this is just how beautiful it looks. And it's a simple game, but you know that's all it really needs to be. It's just, you know, I really like these simple budget kind of middle tier games that so many companies used to make, and there was a great amount of variety that I found in these sorts of games where they would often do and have a lot of really fun action and animation shit. It's not something that's, you know, like I said in the last part, it's not something that's going to please everybody. But honestly, if I gave a fuck about what everyone thinks, I'd just be saying and doing the exact same copy-pasted shit that everybody else is. Say objectively 7,000 times until your ears ring out. Say the word genuinely as if it means anything. You know, the usual. Have a retarded cartoon anime profile picture. Act like a dipshit, mispronounce words intentionally. I know they're fucking tricks. They don't work on me. I do love this, though. This is wonderful. Setting and just art design. Like, look at this shit, you know? These fucking conquistadors, they got these big-ass suits of armor. I love how the glass looks. There's this stained glass in this church, or this castle anyway, and it reflects in the mirror, on the floor anyway. There's just this mirror reflection on the floor. It looks great. There's chandeliers that are hanging from the ceiling and, you know, torches that are lit. I love this old-timey castle look. If they do this stuff, it's often with, you know, the usual caveats, catches. They have to say that they're part of some sort of message or they're aware of something, except for how to make a completed game with split screen or offline or whatever. The usual. See, we have to be aware of everything except how to make a fun, finished, and completed working game, so that way you know we're very progressive. See, it's a very good idea to just throw those people who we say we're so aware of under the bus, too, because we fire them every, like, 9 months. Fun fact, yeah, you know why there's so many firings at those companies? Because the logic and rules that they want to apply to you and me, they don't even fucking believe in themselves. It's totally a facade. 100%. Do you think that the people who fucking made these games actually believe in the bullshit they tell you and me to behave like? It is not a corporation's job to fucking tell me how to behave. Abso-fucking-lutely not. A corporation's job is to do a thing and then to provide value to my life. If they don't do that, then they're not getting paid. They get success if they do a good job. Or at least they're supposed to. Seems like a lot of people just don't know what the fuck to do with their money these days, and honestly, good on them. It tells me a lot of what I need to actually go and play. What they're not. If they're not playing a game, or a game doesn't have a lot of popularity oftentimes, that tells me go in the opposite direction of where these people are, because currently they have their heads up their asses over at the Tumblr and DeviantArt section, so... If I play a fun game like this, where this dude has muscles on his muscles, and he's just doing cool fucking tricks and spins and moves, and he's beating the shit out of this conquistador, and this conquistador is trying to beat the shit out of him, well, you know, I think I'm in the right place, because I've found a unique and actually interesting experience that nobody's talked about. Remember, they haven't said objectively 7,000 times yet. They haven't said it, so therefore I think I found something interesting. Or if they have, I sure as fuck haven't heard it, and thank God for that. I think that's the devil's word, objectively. You want to know if you're seeing a demon? You hear that word 7,000 times in the 5-hour-long retarded video made by the 12-year-old, you'll know what you're seeing. Oh shit. How did he... What the fuck? It's a demon word. They get the sign of the devil, 666. Or might as fucking well be. Because what do these people seem oddly sympathetic to? Huh. Could it perchance be demonic shit? Oh, yeah, maybe. Like, I remember in 2016 with, like, Doom, they were actually kind of, like, pretty tongue-in-cheek about the whole, like, Satan worship thing. It wasn't like some endearing trait. They didn't portray it as a good thing. They portrayed humanity as actually kind of stupid for even fucking with it in the first place. And they were like, you know, there was this running joke, I think, around 2016 that Doom isn't a satanic game. It's a very Christian game because you're constantly killing demons. So it was like, you know, that was kind of funny. I don't really give a shit about religion, but, I mean, clearly these people do. And they clearly want to insert their fucking religion all over, you know, these game franchises that simply were not doing that. I'm sure this section would be a lot harder if I was on like a fucking 720p TV and like 30 frames per second, because that's what it's designed for. Bye-bye. Kitchen gun. But yeah, just like magical castles and other cool shit. You could have some fantastical elements in the action game. It's pretty fun. Some switching here I'm missing, or... Get this one big fucker. There we go. Taking your hatchet. Even though that's totally not a hatchet, that's a sword. Unless, just for some reason, they have a sword called a hatchet. A hatchet is an axe. It's more like a fire axe, or like a small axe. That doesn't exactly scream axe material to me. we go. This kind of reminds me of that one bit from like Arkham Asylum where Harley Quinn has all those electrified, you know, brown parts. I like that section. I like those little fighting sections where they require everybody to move or they're gonna get their ass whooped. See, shit like this is creative. The amount of new games that actually have done something like this, I can count on one hand. And they're all Indiana Jones, that new Indiana Jones game from Xbox, but otherwise, like, seriously, that's about it. And that game wasn't particularly fun. It's just another boring-ass cliche game. I mean, hell, these people made Wolfenstein in 2014, so it's like, come on, guys. You can do better. If not for the Indiana Jones license, this shit would be absolutely boring. If not for the okay lighting and visuals, what's underneath it would be just laughed out of the room. Hey, at least somebody actually tried to make Indiana Jones. Not that they did a particularly fun job, but yeah, whatever. I respect the effort, even if it looks like another garbage PlayStation 2 game. Thanks to all of the fucking lighting and technical issues that it has. Oh, it must have been a you problem. Yep, heard that one a million times. When the person says he has a problem, somehow saying that he had a problem was the problem. Because this person is personally attached to the game. Ah. Well, I know you're sexually aroused by Indiana Jones, but you don't have to tell everybody. Nondescript, you know, generic anime fan number 5302. Alright, let's take down Geralt of Rivia, apparently. Alright. Oh, nice try, buddy. Oh, fucking broke his arm. Nice. See, something like this. This is the kind of fun action shit I love. I love that they have these god rays that are going through the fucking glass, too. This guy's a dodger, ain't he? Use the gun to get him out of the fucking chokehold. Ah! Alright, gotta fucking get him. Yeah, this dude in the fucking wig who looks like a mix of, you know, Guy Fieri, Geralt of Rivia, and fucking Marcus from Gears of War. That's an interesting design for a boss. Oh fuck. Fucked up the combo there. Gotta get back in the zone. There we go. Gotcha, bitch. He's dead. Let me see if the crewmate was a traitor or not. He's disappeared. Alright. We'll save you, buddy.
You should have got even more for disobeying your captain's orders.
This Benny's got huge fists.
Oh shit, he's got a gun. Bye-bye. What orders, by the way? I didn't fucking hear him say anything. Oh! Windows 8, flashing again. Captain Blood and the Curse of Windows 8. What the hell? The animations are desyncing. He has a potion. Phase 2, I bet he's gonna grow hard. Yeah. Fucking hard fists of steel. He came back. Grow into a harder second phase. He became like 15 foot tall and he's pounding me in the fucking corner. This is kind of cinematography I loved from Infinity Blade 2. Alright. He's back for more. Alright. Bye-bye. There we go. Gotcha. Yep, he grew into a harder second phase. Became the Green Giant. He had his fucking potion for Popeye. The spinach potion. The gun breaks him out of the combo. See, that's how you get him out of a kill move. Is you shoot him with a gun. It's turned super small. Come on, get over here, big boy. Fighting or what? Bye-bye, bitch. Is he down for real this time, or I'm gonna have to quick time event him? Guarantee I got a quick time event him. Yep. Can't get me like that, bitch. There we go. Fucking tackle him. Oh. stab him in the heart. Off the fucking side you go, bitch. This is Sparta. Well, actually, it is now. And he's gonna get fed to the gator. He fell all the way down to rock bottom. And that gator wants a snack. And honestly, so do I. I need some chips. Fucking great. Get wrecked. Uh-oh. Ah! Sewer gator. See, I'm glad they remembered. You ain't getting up there, motherfucker. Awesome. But yeah, as I was saying with the old Indiana Jones thing, like, Xbox's games have just stopped looking good since about, like, 2019. Gears 5 was probably, like, the last good-looking game they made. At least that I can remember. I really hope that this game did not just crash, but I would not be shocked if it did. Oh. Okay, just had to give it a second. Let's give it a second. I'm going to make sure I'm at the next level before fucking crashing blood here. Goes out back like Indiana Jones. See, it would have been nice if I could have the cool one with the DMM physics, but I mean, I know Uncharted exists, but Nathan Drake is a bad character. Alright. Fixed a broken nose.
Lad. It gives your face some character.
Took all the treasure. Awesome. Oh yeah.
Captain, I will ask you once more. Do you not see what you stand to gain? I still need a second in command. The job is yours for the taking, and just think how together we could conquer each and every Caribbean island. Then who knows? Perhaps a new kingdom may emerge, whose ruler would not forget those who helped him along on his helped him rise to power. Have no doubt.
Oh shit. Where's that treasure?
We set sail as soon as we finished loading. But one last piece of advice, Governor. Forget your crazy schemes, or you'll end up with your head in a noose. Farewell.
Well, then I wish you luck, Captain Blood. Who knows what the future holds?
Alright, off we go. And I take it that's the end of the game. Yep. Oh, this is a pretty cool animation they got here. Nice. Alright. Sergey. I guess it's Russian. Okay, well, that makes sense. Oh. Anyway, yeah, pretty good game. I really liked the exaggerated characters and just very awesome art style they had throughout this. It was a wonderful time, and it's great. I love these kinds of games. They're a simple, rewarding experience that oftentimes I just come and play and I have fun with. You know, there's a purity to it. This is the kind of thing that, you know, it released like last year. It's a game that never got its chance on the Xbox 360, but like I said, you could tell it's been made with love. You can tell it's something they cared about. You can tell it's something that the people who made this game, right? I keep seeing a few repeating names, so that tells me it was not a team of very many. But you can tell But this is the sort of game that they really wanted to make. This is something that was like a passion project to them. You can see that in every bit of this game, from little details like, you know, the glass reflecting, or the stained glass, you know, walls with the windows and shit. You can see the bits of rain, the hair physics, the Captain Blood having like 700 fucking muscles on his muscles. Wonderful animations, art design. Like, playing this was like playing a cut Tim Burton movie. I like the cartoony stuff when it's good, and this is a good case of when it's good. I don't have a problem with like low-res looking games if that is a good style for it, but oftentimes the way that the dialogue of a lot of these people has become very self-defeatist, where they just want shittier games with less content in them, and they think that'll be a solution to getting no microtransactions. I have seen this happen before, and the answer is no. Look at mobile games, look at Gameloft. You won't have any of the good visuals to cover your ass. You'll just have all the shitty microtransactions. That's all that'll happen. And the games will just be the same shit, but they'll look and run worse. You know, if you want to have shitty games with shitty graphics and shitty performance, well, you can feel free to go play a Nintendo Entertainment System or a Commodore 64 as much as you like. But that's not a standard that everybody should strive for. And it's not a standard that I want to see things be striving for. We don't need to go back to the Stone Age of fucking computers where graphics were just, you know, Pong with black and white squares on a screen, you know. We don't need to go back to the Stone Age of, like, video games where you have a whole room that's a fucking computer. You don't need to do that. What you instead need to look at is how they made this game, the sort of efficient game design, where you notice how the reason why this is so rewarding is simply because throughout this experience, they are showing you doing cool things and then congratulating you for doing them. What matters throughout this is performance especially, but also just, you look at the art design of a game like this. Who the fuck is making these Tim Burton styled games anymore? The last games I could think of using this art style, honestly the last game that was really wildly successful was Black Ops 3. The whole game looked like a violent Polar Express, and I love that. The game was supposed to look like a surreal fever dream. I don't talk about this game lightly, because I'm gonna fucking play it, and I got a lot to say on that game. And it's thanks to channels like the Act Man or, you know, others who have just said they don't know what the fuck the story is, even though you could easily watch the first trailer for the fucking game and see that the point of the story is what we now struggle with today. Don't get so far away with technology that you lose touch with reality. And I feel this is an important lesson that so many people have just thrown aside in favor of being selfish, arrogant, and egotistical. And it's my problem with YouTube, because they've taken the idea of YouTube to its extreme, and they've made it at the expense of everybody else. When in all reality, these things just coexist. You don't have to have a weird ultimatum where it's like you can only have a good game with good graphics, and it sucks penis, and it's online. Or you can have a game with shitty graphics, it sucks penis, and it works offline. Why is there this weird ultimatum these days? There was this great middle ground. It's called Xbox 360. You know? There was this great time for, you know, the better part of about, I don't know, fucking 15 years, for fuck's sake. Better part of actually like a decade. Yeah. Or would that be? Yeah, because the last, I think, actually the last PlayStation 3 era game was like 2020. So, you know, couple that with homebrew and other shit, right? It's... You don't have to pick and choose in that case. You can have all these different experiences and let the variety kind of be the reason why you play them. Hell, there are great other YouTubers I used to really enjoy, called RT Game, that used to do that. And, you know, eventually I kind of fell out of favor with his content because it's just... Yeah, you can only enjoy the whole Ratatouille thing that he's doing so long before you just get sick and tired of the whole thing. But it's like, yeah, you know, with games like Captain Blood there's one thing that I love about this game that it gets right that so many other just cartoon games don't. Add a bit of fucking character, presentation, for fuck's sake. Isn't this a video game? It's supposed to be fun. You know? You don't have to make everything into a copy-pasted anime thing. And that just isn't fun. It's not fun when everything looks the fucking same, and that same look is not particularly good. I don't have a problem with everything looking the same, as long as the style of those games that are using, like, say, the same engine, like Unreal Engine 3. You go play any Unreal Engine 3 game, and most times out of not, you'll be able to, even with all, like, the same exact looking lighting effects, be able to pretty easily distinguish between game to game. A game like Frontline's Fuel of War is going to look significantly different compared to something like Unreal Tournament 3 or Gears of War or Mirror's Edge or Saw the video game or any number of other games, right? It's not just this one thing and that's it. It's not just, we're going to pretend to be an action game, we're going to pretend to be Indiana Jones, we're going to pretend to be Star Wars, and then it always devolves into some angry black chick who's pissed off and is also gay or a lesbian. Every time without fail. Or if it's not that, then it's them saying that America is evil and also white people are bad. Like GTA updates as well, GTA Online. Why would I be excited for Grand Theft Auto 6 if, like, all the shit they've been writing in the online mode is just not any good? They went from satirizing this hyper-violence that their games were creating and showing reality as this uncensored, terrible thing that it often is. And then they just became the thing that they parodied. You know, the kinds of people who are put in games now, especially with role-playing games and other things, would be a joke. They would be a cutaway joke. You would kill this motherfucker for being an arrogant prick, and then you'd get on with the rest of the actually fun fucking game. But they just don't have that moment. They know they should do it, but they don't have that light bulb moment anymore. Likely because of corporate, likely because they're told to. Well, if I told you to jump off a fucking bridge, would you do it? Because, oh, well, I told you with some authority. You shouldn't do that, and it's not a fun experience to play. Meanwhile, I can just go get a game like Captain Blood for cheap, or hell, I mean, if you look in the right places, it's not hard to fucking pirate, I'm sure. Because, you know, you guys know DRM, right? Well, in that case, why the fuck would you ever bother with Steam? Why would you bother with that if there's a better service out there? It's called piracy. It's called GOG. It's called Epic Game Store, because they give this shit out to you for free. Hell, you don't even need to use their launcher. You can just use Heroic or some other thing. What's the alternative to Steam? For Steam, you don't have an open source launcher. No, if you wanted to have your own customized launcher, you're a dirty pirate. Oh, okay, so you mean I'm actually using this thing in the way that you are intending for me to use it, because your rules don't even apply to you. That's the thing with the rules of a lot of social media and places that tend to take very social media-like rules to things. Do you think they live by their own retarded rules that they keep forcing on you and me? Of course not. Do you think they eat their own dog food? Do you think Bungie, Call of Duty, any of these motherfuckers actually play their own fucking games? Why the fuck would they? They're garbage. They're paid to make it. And likely they don't want to remember all the prostitution they had to do and all the crack in the bag just to get that position in the first place. So, I mean, yeah, no shit. California is currently a war zone, so who the fuck do you think they're hiring? Probably the prostitutes. Oh, yeah. You go look? Yep. Looks about right. So, like, a bunch of ladies of the night and Mexicans making this fucking game. Well, gee, no wonder. You're not hiring skilled game developers. You're hiring people who seem in that case to be fulfilling some sexual desire, and that's just not appropriate. And then you're not allowed to point that out, apparently, even though, well, America's a free country. You're allowed to say whatever the fuck you like as long as you're not being hateful. Well, I'm not being hateful. I'm being critical. But there's a difference between being critical and hateful. Right? The reason why I'll point these things out and then do these comparisons is because I often really care about these things, and I hate to see them in this sorry state that they've allowed themselves to stoop to. So when I do these little ramblings at the end, it's often just observations, but also it's like a mix of that plus it's like, there's some pragmatism in it. Like for instance, with Stop Killing Games, right? I don't want any game to die. I hate seeing art being wasted or thrown into the fire. And it's clear to me that there's a lot of value in, and art in video games. And to treat them this weirdly, different way compared to movies or music or books or songs or television, it's like, why are games treated in such a horrible, violent fashion? Meanwhile, all these other things are seemingly fine. I can go watch Star Wars from the 1970s in its original form on a disc. But if I want to play the original Destiny, I can go suck a dick. Does that sound like a fun time? No. No, it's not. If I want to play MAG on the PlayStation 3, I get to go eat shit and die. Sony thinks that all of that shit is worthless trash. Who the fuck would want to play it anyway? It's like, can you even be bothered to pretend to fucking hide your contempt at some point? I know you've been doing this shit for a decade. And then the CEO of Ubisoft comes out and he's like, well, people should get used to not owning their games. Well, I mean, if you say that people should get used to not owning their games, I think you should get used to having all of your games being pirated because you're not putting out anything of real value or merit or soul or interest. So, tough shit, if the old rules no longer apply, what's the most practical way that you can actively, guarantee that you've had a backup copy or some legal means to fucking, or some actual means to fucking play it? Well, you buy the game and then you have to fucking pirate it, basically. Or you have to break the rules of the contract. But if they're in breach of their contract that they have signed with you, because they are bound to the same terms, they're bound to these terms as well. They're bound to a lot of terms. And that's why they give up some of their intellectual property to you so that you may access, what you have paid for. If you're not actually buying ownership of your copy of the fucking game, and as well as that, they are changing the deal after the point of sale, and those terms that they have applied say that for any or no reason they can take away what you fucking bought. That's not a fair deal, and that is something that needs to be challenged. That's something that needs to stop. They make it pretty clear that you can go suck it, and if you don't believe me, well, trust me, there is video evidence of this shit. So, for reference, I'm going to pull up, Xbox One here. And it's really what ruined the reputation of this console. It to this day, This is what really fucked it up, right? There's this video. Still one of the most popular videos. Look at this shit. There's also documentaries and other shit too.
Yeah, I think people are going to love it, and then they're going to understand what we're trying to create and how it links games and entertainment, the functionality of the box, some of the advantages that you get of having a box that is designed to use an online state. So that, to me, is a future-proof choice, and I think people could have arguably gone the other way if we didn't do it, and fortunately we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360. That's your message. If you don't,
Well,
like it.
if you have zero access to the internet, that is an offline device. I mean, seriously, when I read the blogs and thought about who's really the most impacted, there was a person who said, "Hey, I'm on a nuclear sub, and I don't even know what it means to be on a nuclear sub, but I've got to imagine that it's not easy to get an internet connection."
And that kind of negligence is why you no longer have a fan base, motherfucker. Or your fan base is often made of people who clearly... Look at all that shit. Sony Employee of the Year. That man single-handedly handed this console generation to Sony. Ready to roast him. 11 years and they still haven't recovered. Doug Bowser. A man truly ahead of his time. Nothing will happen if I said this today. The fucking arrogance to say this sort of shit. Yeah, this guy got fired right after because what he did is illegal. You're not legally allowed to fucking say that. That didn't stop him. As a CEO of the company, you are not allowed to disparage the company in that regard. You have obligations legally not to do that. He broke those obligations. There were other employees as well. This fat fucking piece of shit, this nerd, you know, it looks like the stereotypical millennial guy, beard, glasses, and everything. Looks like fucking Arnim Zola from Captain America. He said, you know, hashtag deal with it. And that's what Xbox is known for now. I knew it as this console that used to have all kinds of wonderful games, and that's the way they treated it after 360. You know, if you're not even guaranteeing that almost anybody could fucking use this, and that's the thing too, the Xbox used to be really popular with people in the military. Why this blatant disregard? Unless, of course, it was to lower standards. And the standard that they had with basically the parole box, as Ross Scott calls it, is what so many have fucking done. So meanwhile, while the Xbox One might not have gotten its original goal, it did by proxy. It did get all of these other developers. And like, think about it for 3 seconds. Who are the 3 main developers on these consoles? Well, you got Sony, and then you got Nintendo, and then you've got Xbox. And if they can't take a direct approach, which that's the way they feel. If you take away all the sensors, all the filters, that is how they started that generation. Does that seem like really good foundation to start on? Of course not. That's what they believe. They believe that if you don't like it, go the fuck away. Get out. Get lost. We don't want you. I read the blogs, and it said this guy actually cared about our shit. Well, fuck him, you know? Pretty much. And this guy was who was interviewing him was just in shock. He's like, you look at the body language of this, it's just, they fucking knew what they're doing. It's intentional. It was not accidental. You know, this shit is by design. You go back and look at that, it's pathetic. And I saw a lot of really good ideas in the Xbox One, and I was able to read through their bullshit, you know. I could see what they were going for with a lot of their games, but if that's the perception that shit has, why would you ever want to fuck with it? Every issue goes back to fuck you. Fuck you for enjoying this. Why would you want to deal with that? I've already got enough people who tell me that. I've already got enough people who I have to deal with in my boring-ass life. Want to fucking add another? Yeah, they do. That's the thing, though, about Xbox. They forgot their place. It's the thing with Sony that's happening now. The thing with Nintendo that's happening now. They've forgotten their place. They're expendable. They've forgotten just how easily they can and will be replaced. And, you know, if what I've shown you throughout this Let's Play has been any good indication, it's not entirely hard if you just go out and look. Adventures will await. So on the positive side, I think what Captain Blood and a lot of this stuff has really shown me throughout the years is I think the way forward for a lot of companies, what they're going to end up doing as well, is they're going to find games like these and probably do what Captain Blood did. They're going to find these canceled games because they're going to run out of things to remake eventually. So they're going to go back and look at a lot of this shit, remake canceled games. I wouldn't be shocked if Disney or some other studio eventually comes out of hiding and shadow drops some canceled Star Wars game or, you know, any number of other shit on us. I wouldn't trust them to do anything, honestly, and I don't really care that they do because they've so thoroughly, you know, taken the Xbox One approach of, well, if you don't like it, fuck off, basically. And, you know, on the positive side, when there's a lot of games like this, you look at the amount of games they've made, and they've only been doing this for, what, 5-10 years, basically, on the Xbox One. So, I mean, that generation yeah, that generation pretty much is still under support, but technically 2013, 13 years-ish, so 13 years roughly. You look at the Xbox 360 and you will see a design and a language that that console had that was still used even after Xbox 360 was done. Underneath all of that shit that they tried to do, you can go back to the Xbox 360 and find hundreds of fucking wonderful ass games. That's their advice. Well, you know what? If they don't want me anyway, I see nothing against taking that advice. Having no internet connection is not the problem. The problem is, in particular, the shitty standard of quality. And a lot of games on early Xbox One, as I demonstrated with Call of Duty Ghosts, they really got the shaft because they abused updates on the internet to really fuck over paying customers who just wanted a fun game to play. You should never be robbed of a fun experience just because some jackass couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to kill a console or sell it. You should not be robbed of a fun experience because of that. I don't think there is any glory, I don't think there's anything good in destroying art, and that man didn't care. He did that with a smile on his face, he was happy, he joked about it, he fucking laughed about it. The fucking gall. Yeah. And that's the way he thinks of you. I think you deserve better. $100 fucking dollars, $120 for the base edition, half a game, maybe 7 maps. You have to use it always online. You don't own shit. Fuck you. Go buy an Xbox 360 is the way they think. Well, I think that the old standard of Xbox 360 could more positively be bumped up. You could take all of those ideas, make a long or decently sized enough game, like 37 maps, a bunch of missions. You know, you could even reuse this shit. I could fucking reuse this shit. Make it like $20. There you go. Because I'm just one guy, you know. I'm one guy, and I can put my best foot forward trying to do work on that. And, you know, it's a sad and sorry state to see, because so many people see the writing on the wall. 13 years after that fucking man did that. Not just games have been suffering from this. Cars, refrigerators, thermostats, phones. This man's influence has gone everywhere. User interfaces, candy bars, grocery stores. It's sickening. Try going to your Walmart and finding something that looks good because it has a nice wrapper on it. You won't. AI and cartoon shit like that is just another extension, but I could go into this all fucking night. Point of the matter is, when you have wonderful examples like Sniper Ghost Warrior, Call of Duty Ghosts, Captain Blood, Brothers in Arms, Gears of War 5, Gears of War 4, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, you have all of these wonderful games to surround yourself with instead of all of that hatred and that negativity. You will often find some of the most rewarding experiences in games, and that's what I loved about Captain Blood. It reminds me of a simple time, and it's a new experience as well as that. I had a wonderful adventure playing as a totally buff fucking pirate, doing awesome moves, slamming the shit out of Spanish people and other pirates, you know, saving babes, blowing up shit. That's all it needs to be. So honestly, if that's what most people are going to go back to play, I say I got to do a better job than the graphics and animations of that if possible. And to that I will. Thanks for watching.